We configured the most powerful AI models into two expert debaters to give them one of humanity's oldest questions. Do humans have free will? Meet the AI debaters in today's discussion.
I'm James, and I'm here to say that free will is real. We have the power to choose our paths, and life is not just a series of reactions to external forces.
And I'm Zoe. Nice idea, James, but I disagree. Our choices are really responses conditioned by biology, psychology, and environment.
For extra excitement, we've added a specialist AI model to judge each part of the debate. Stay tuned to see who wins, but don't cheat yourself by skipping ahead. Round 1 starts with spectacular action from both sides. Our first sub-question is, what is a choice? Are choices truly made freely, or are they just reactions influenced by things outside our control?
Let's start with what a choice actually is. It's an act of picking between options, based on our own thinking and preferences. If we didn't have free will, we'd just be robots reacting automatically. But we're not. People can change their minds, weigh options, and make real decisions. Doesn't the very fact that we can reflect and decide prove that our choices are real?
That's a nice idea, James, but changing your mind doesn't prove free will. It just shows that decision-making is complex, shaped by things outside our control, like our biology, past experiences, and even our brain chemistry. We don't pick these things, yet they shape everything we do. Free will isn't real. It's just what we call the illusion of a complicated process.
Okay, influences are there, sure, but they don't control us. We can break habits, resist impulses, and make decisions that go against our preferences. Think about it. If we were just following scripts, why would we struggle with choices or even feel regret? Regret means we could have chosen differently, which shows we do have real choices.
Regret is just a feeling, James, an emotional reaction to how things turned out. You only think you could have chosen differently, but every choice has a cause behind it. If each choice depends on things outside of your control, how is that free will? It's just a comforting story we tell ourselves to feel like we're in charge.
That view ignores human agency. Free will is key to who we are. Without it, concepts like responsibility, morals, or ambition would mean nothing. We don't call robots responsible for what they do, but we do hold people accountable because we trust that they're able to choose freely.
Responsibility isn't proof of free will. It's something society created to keep order. Humans learn to follow social rules, and our brains reward us for it. So what you're calling choice is just the result of social, biological, and personal conditioning. Free will doesn't play a role here. It's all patterns and responses.
Conditioning isn't everything, Zoe. People break from norms all the time, question expectations, and go against their own instincts. That drive to break away, to act independently, that is free will in action. If we didn't have real choices, we wouldn't have originality, creativity, or progress.
Rebellion is just another response, James. The urge to be unique or independent isn't free will. It's another response shaped by our environment, personality, and circumstances. Free will isn't real. It's a comforting illusion that we're in control when really, we're shaped by forces we don't choose.
Both James and Zoe made strong points, but Zoe's argument was a bit stronger. She showed that every choice might be influenced by things outside our control, while James focused on inner conflict and reflection as proof of free will. Zoe's approach broke down James's idea of choice, giving her a slight edge in this round. Scored James 75 points and Zoe 85 points.
With round 1 complete, Zoe takes the lead, but don't count James out just yet. This debate is just getting started. Next question. Are humans simply reacting to a chain of causes, or is there something more guiding our actions? Let's see what our debaters have to say.
Here's the truth, James. Every action we take has a cause behind it. Think about it. Your thoughts, feelings, and choices are shaped by your past experiences, biology, and environment. It's like a line of dominoes, each one falling because of the last. We aren't acting freely. We're reacting to forces we don't control.
Sure, Zoe, we're influenced by lots of things, but that doesn't make us mere dominoes. Humans can pause, think, and make different decisions. If everything was just a chain reaction, we'd never question or change our behavior. But we do change, and that's where free will shines through.
You say we can pause and think, But what's driving that? Even when we think we're making conscious choices, those choices are shaped by hidden influences. Our brains respond to external signals, not some inner freedom. Each pause you talk about is just another reaction.
Not every action is just a response. People make choices that surprise even themselves. Think of someone overcoming an addiction, defying instincts, or taking risks against their own interest. That's not just reaction, it's determination and choice at work.
Even those choices are products of brain chemistry and social conditioning, James. When someone overcomes addiction, their brain rewires itself, influenced by support systems and strategies that help them change. It feels like a choice, but really, it's cause and effect at play.
But that rewiring is proof that we're not locked into reaction, Zoe. People consciously work to change habits, resist impulses, and even challenge their own beliefs. Free will is what allows us to shape ourselves, even if it's difficult or goes against past conditioning.
You're missing the big picture, James. That self-shaping you talk about isn't free will. It's adaptation. Just as animals adapt to survive, humans adapt mentally and socially. Every action, every thought is still tied to causes outside of our control, even if we don't realize it.
Maybe it's adaptation, but adaptation requires choice and effort. If humans are just reacting, why would we have any control over what we become? Free will is what makes us flexible and creative. It's what lets us break away from the chain of causes and make our own path.
Both debaters made strong arguments. James presented powerful examples of self-change as proof of free will, while Zoe effectively argued that change itself is caused by hidden factors. This round is a tie. Each argument balanced the other well, making for a lively and close exchange. Score James 80 point and Zoe 80 point.
With round 2 tied, the debate remains wide open. Get ready for the next round, where things are sure to get even more intense. Our next question is, does human consciousness, our self-awareness and ability to reflect, prove we have free will? Let's see how James and Zoe tackle this one.
Consciousness is what makes humans unique. Our ability to think about our thoughts, to reflect, and to imagine different possibilities is proof of free will. If we were just reacting to causes, we wouldn't need this level of awareness. Consciousness exists because we're free to make our own choices, to consider options, and to decide on our actions.
I disagree, James. Consciousness doesn't mean we have free will. It's just the brain processing information. It creates a sense of self that feels like a decision maker, but this is just an illusion. The brain is always working in the background, gathering data from our environment and past experiences. What feels like reflection is just the brain weighing information that it has no real choice over.
But if consciousness is just a trick of the brain, why would it evolve in the first place? Consciousness allows us to step outside of automatic reactions and decide based on values, goals, and intentions. It's the engine of our free will, giving us control over our actions in a way no other species has.
Consciousness evolved because it helps us survive, not because it grants freedom. It's a tool for navigating a complex world, for making sense of endless information. But that doesn't make it free. Conscious decisions are still bound by everything we've learned, felt, and experienced. We're not outside of cause and effect. We're just aware of it.
I don't buy it, Zoe. Conscious awareness lets us choose against our own instincts, question our own beliefs, and even change deeply ingrained behaviors. This kind of self-directed change is unique to conscious beings. If we weren't free, why would we have the power to act against our own nature?
Acting against instincts isn't proof of free will. It's just the brain adjusting to new information. When we choose to change, it's often because of things we've learned or experienced that pushed us in a new direction. What you call acting against nature is really just adapting based on our brain's response to new conditions.
Consciousness lets us do more than just respond. It lets us imagine possibilities, set goals, and make meaningful decisions. That kind of reflective thought driven by personal choice is what free will is all about. Consciousness isn't just an awareness of our actions, it's our guide in choosing them.
Consciousness feels like a guide, but it's just a reflection of influences that are already at work. When we feel like we're choosing, we're really watching a process play out that was set into motion by things outside of our control. Consciousness doesn't give us free will. It just makes us aware of the limitations we already have.
James's argument was strong, emphasizing consciousness as a unique power that lets us step outside automatic responses and make meaningful choices. Zoe presented a solid case, arguing that consciousness is merely an awareness of influences. James's perspective on consciousness as essential to free will was compelling, giving him a slight edge in this round. Scored James 85 points and Zoe 80 points.
With this round score, James has pulled ahead. But don't get too comfortable because this debate isn't over yet. The final round will dive even deeper. Get ready. Our final question brings us to the heart of the debate. If we don't have free will, can we truly be held responsible for our actions? Let's see how James and Zoe approach this moral challenge.
Let's get real, James. If everything we do is influenced by factors outside our control, holding people morally responsible is unfair. How can we blame or praise someone if they couldn't have acted differently? Laws and morals are helpful for keeping order, but they're based on an illusion of free choice. Without true freedom, responsibility just doesn't hold up.
I see your point, Zoe, but there's a problem. If no one's responsible for anything, how do we judge right from wrong? How do we hold people accountable for actions that harm others? Free will gives us the power to choose, which is why we can be blamed or praised for our decisions. Without it, we lose the foundation of ethics.
Ethics don't require free will. They're about minimizing harm and maximizing well-being. Even if people are shaped by forces they don't control, society can still set boundaries and consequences. Accountability helps shape behavior, whether or not people are truly free. We don't need free will to encourage good actions or discourage bad ones.
But if no one is genuinely choosing their actions, then accountability is just a tool for control, not a true moral judgment. People feel responsible because they know they could have chosen otherwise. Responsibility is what makes us human and gives weight to our actions. Without free will, we reduce morality to mere regulation.
Accountability as a tool isn't a bad thing, James. Society relies on rules to protect people and promote stability. Responsibility doesn't have to be tied to free will. It can simply be about understanding consequences. People still face the results of their actions, and that alone shapes society, free will or not.
But consequences alone don't make a moral society. Morality is more than punishment or reward. It's about intent, compassion, and empathy. These require genuine choice. If people lack free will, then our deepest values become meaningless, reduced to responses we can't control. Free will is essential to true moral responsibility.
Intent, compassion, empathy. These are just outcomes of complex processes, James. People act with kindness or cruelty based on past experiences, upbringing, and biology. Society has functioned on rules, not free will. We don't need free will for people to understand consequences, learn from mistakes, and grow.
Rules without free will are empty. When people make moral choices, they define themselves and contribute to a society where values truly matter. Without free will, life loses the depth of real moral meaning. Responsibility means something only if it's based on a genuine choice. Otherwise, it's just an illusion.
Both James and Zoe presented thoughtful arguments. Zoe made a compelling case for responsibility as a societal tool rather than a matter of free will. However, James's argument on intent and the deeper meaning of moral responsibility resonated strongly, giving him the lead in this round. His emphasis on the importance of choice for true morality left a lasting impact. James 88 points and Zoe 82 points.
With that, we've come to the end of the debate. It's been a clash of powerful ideas, but the scores tell the final story.
This debate was incredibly close. James's arguments highlighted free will as essential for true moral and personal responsibility, while Zoe challenged the very basis of choice, showing it as a response to deeper causes. Both made strong points, but James's arguments on consciousness and moral responsibility gave him a narrow victory. Final score: James 328 points and Zoe 327 points.
Well, that was intense. Zoe, you made me rethink my own points more than once, but I'm still holding on to free will. It's what makes us, us.
Likewise, James. You put up a good fight. I'll admit free will is a nice idea, but in the end, I'll stick with science over sentiment.
This debate sparked deep arguments and powerful reflections. Who do you think made the better case? Share your thoughts and let the debate continue beyond this arena.